Welcome to the Lotco Business Podcast, a show all about helping you as a retailer, brand, or creative understand the actual business side of running your business. I offer straightforward, practical advice about the nitty-gritty of making money from your creative passion. We will be covering bite-sized business and marketing lessons, as well as interviews with experts and trailblazers in the fashion, homewares, and design industries. My name is Melissa Robbins. I'm a business coach, colour-loving, non-coffee drinking Melburnian. Let's get into it. Hello and welcome to today's episode. My name is Melissa Robbins. I am a business coach, guide, mentor, consultant, all of the above, helping product-based businesses build a profitable product business. Now, when I say that, I really mean that key is that profitable, because I've been in business for over 25 years, had different types of businesses within that, in that time, had a product business, had a brand, had a retail store, had multiple startup brands, just smaller ones that I did on this as side hustles. Also have worked for bigger corporations, and then also done lots of lecturing, teaching, coaching in that time, all in product-based businesses. And the last 5 years, I have worked with hundreds and hundreds of brands. I don't actually know how many exactly, but on how to build their product business and how to make sure that they're focusing on the right things at the right time. So that is a big thing in terms of whether you're a startup, whether you've been going 3 years, whether you've been going 10 years or 25 years. I've got clients who've been going that long. What are you focusing on? What are you doing now? What's changed? What can you evolve? How can you, what can you focus on in your business that's going to be the best next thing for you? So I love working with all the different types of businesses that I work with, whether it's artists, whether it's retail stores, whether it's, a new beauty brand, furniture, homewares, all the different things in between. It's so exciting for me, and I love having that opportunity to do that. So if that's something that you have, then love it that you're here, love it that you're learning, love it that you're taking the time to invest in your business, invest in your learning, your understanding, and hopefully improve your business along the way. So, sorry about that long intro today, but let's get into what today's episode is all about. What we are talking about today is customer retention strategies. So that sounds a bit boring and corporate, doesn't it? But what we're here is how do you get key customers coming back again and again and again? How do you get them to have a really high lifetime value, that LTV number, that acronym that I talk about occasionally? How do we boost that? How do we keep customers, how do we get them to be loyal, long-term customers? How do we get them to, talk about you as a brand and share the love and share the word about who you are? How do you, maintain that? So in previous episodes, you might have heard me talk about the customer retention rate. So that is that website tracking that you can see, who's coming back again and again. But maybe it's something that separately from whether it's, other data that you've captured, or whether it is something that in your retail store you notice what's going on, that, they're your best customers. What we're all about is, trying to keep the customers we already have, and then also focusing on how to build them into long-term fans. All right, so let's just talk about some strategies. I'm not sure exactly how many I've got here today, but I'm just going to go through some ways that you can boost your customer retention so that you're not always having to find new customers. Now, that is obviously an element of what you should be doing all the time anyway, because there's going to be customers who come and go, but we want to keep the customers we have for as long as possible, because this day and age, it is really expensive to acquire new customers. That other acronym I talk about, CAC, the customer acquisition cost, is getting higher and higher all the time. So we want to make sure that when we've got the customers, how do we keep them, around for longer? All right. Number one is to consider the customer journey that they're going on. Every touch point that they have with your business, how do you treat it? How do you service people when they first find out about your brand or your website or your Instagram? What's the experience that they have with you? You've gone viral on TikTok. What's then the next step for them? What do they see when they've seen that video? Is it all cohesive between, your TikTok, between your Instagram, between your website, between anything else, emails that you might send out to customers? What is that journey like for them? Do you make it as smooth as possible? Do you consider the cohesiveness of all the communication that you put out, and making sure that you've really tried to keep that consistent? So what's your brand voice? What's the way you speak? What language do you use? Does it sound like it's coming from the same person in all those different touch points that you have? Number 2 is providing exceptional customer service. Do you make it easy for them? Do you make it smooth when they purchase from you? If they have a question, do you make it smooth that you answer in a timely reply? If they've got frequently asked questions, is that information on your website for them to be able to track and find out easily? How smooth and easy do you make it for your customers? One of my friends' clients, has a ceramics business, and she, spends a little bit more on her delivery for the products to her customers, because she knows that is exceptional customer service. So they're not getting annoyed about the delivery service that they're receiving from her. So she pays a little bit more for each delivery, because she knows that it is a smoother process for the customers, and because she knows that there's less issues with that particular delivery service. So that is one way that she's considering and thinking about that journey that the customer has and the experience that they have with her brand. Do you surprise and delight your customers? And I'll flick between wholesale and direct to consumer, because that's what I work, in those different areas. How do you surprise and delight customers? Do you send, an extra little sample in the delivery, or do you put a piece of chocolate or a lollipop in your wholesale delivery that you're sending out to your customers? What do you do just to, give that element of, oh, that was lovely, oh, that's so beautiful, I love that, I love that touch that they've added? Is it a card? Is it a ribbon? What is the process that you use to surprise and delight your customers? Is it an extra thank you email that you're sending out? What can you do to surprise and delight your customers? And tying into that is, do you go above and beyond? Do you really, care about your customers and the experience that they have? I know that being in this business, you get exhausted from the things that go wrong and the things that don't work out. But, if you can make that experience, what's it, the saying, catch more bees with honey. I used to talk to my sister about that in terms of, you've just got to be as nice as possible and lead with kindness, lead with assuming that, they're not trying to be annoying this customer, lead with that you're going to go above and beyond to service these people. So it's really important that you can do that, or try and do that as much as possible. And if you're not the best person to be answering emails because you're irritated about something else, then don't answer your customer service emails, and maybe get someone else who doesn't have that emotional attachment to things as much as you might do. I heard someone talk about that the other day, and I was like, so true. Sometimes you're not the best person to be answering those emails if something's gone wrong with a customer. So go above and beyond, because that's something people remember. That's something the experienced people will take away with them. As the saying is as well, it's not, what is it? So the saying, Maya Angelou, is, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. All right, so next is, do you keep in contact with them? Do you send regular emails? Do you thank them and say, thanks for being a loyal supporter and loyal customer? Do you send service, emails? And when I say service, I mean not just selling emails to your customers, only sending them something, when you've got something to sell or a new promotion in every month or something. How do you service them and help them and send them information that's inspirational? It's information that helps them, be a part of your community, or, where you live locally for your retail store. How do you keep in contact with your customers? Because that's a really important way to make sure that your customer return rate is high. When I see that number on website analytics and I see it's low, I say, how often do you email your customers? That's one of the first things I can tell by looking at a low customer return rate. And obviously, sometimes that depends on your product. If you sell couches, you're probably not going to have customers come back that often, because they don't need a new sofa every 3 weeks. But it is definitely something to consider. Do you care about your customers? Now, that might seem a silly question to ask, but do you actually care about each individual sale? Are you thankful and show gratitude for every sale that comes into your business? Do you express that, whether it's physically, saying those things, or whether it's you actually, writing emails, or even just thinking about it? Do you care about the customer, or is it all just about, getting that extra sale? So that's just something to think about there. Like, do you actually care when people place that order of how it gets to them, how their experience is, whether it's been positive or not, or whether it's been useful or not? So do you care about your customers? Do you help your customer? So do you, again, make it easy for them to order something from you? Do you make it easy for them to, return things if it's not right? Do you give all that information up front so you don't have to get, asked about that? Do you care about the journey that they're going on with you as a brand? So really important that you consider each customer on their own, individual merit. Like, if you care about every time that someone purchases from you, and that they have a lovely experience. I've seen again and again too that, I'll go through with customers, with clients on their database, and I can see, who are your best customers? Let's have a look at that, and can they sort of go, well, yeah, I know my top 5 customers are these people. They're just amazing. So do you care about them? Like, do you ever send them something that's just, hey, you're really important to me, and I love that you have supported me for 3 years. Thank you so much. Can you send them something as a, rewarding their next order? Or if they haven't ordered for a little while, can you send them a little, gift with purchase, or a discount code off for a certain period of time? So really caring about those individual customers, or your VIP customers, and really taking note of who they are and how you can service them more. Do you engage and talk back to your customers? Do you, have interactions with them? Do you reply if they've, got queries and stuff? People take note of that stuff. Like, whenever I'm on a website and I see someone has asked, hey, does that come in a, I don't know, size whatever, and I see the customers haven't replied, or stores or brands, I'm like, oh, they haven't even replied to that person. I think that's a bit rude. Or if I see, other people just haven't replied to people. If you're in this industry that you are selling products and you need to service your customers and reply to every single question that comes out, sometimes you can have automation set up. Like on Facebook, you can have automations that, every time someone asks a certain question, you can direct them to a frequently asked questions. So there's things that you can set up if you've got that sort of, business where people are always wanting to know more or ask more as well. So engage and talk back to your customers. Not just on social, but maybe email occasionally if that's relevant as well. Do you apologize if you make a mistake? Do you own up and say, look, I'm really sorry that, didn't go well there. Something went wrong. I'm so sorry about that. Here's something to, compensate you. Or, if your website was down, do you make that apology just a public apology? Like, oh my gosh, so sorry. This is what's happened. We'll do better next time. Do you ever do that? That really shows that you're humble enough to sort of go, okay, it's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. Sorry about that. This is what we're going to do next time to repair it. Capitalize on social proof. So do you do that? Like, do you showcase other people, like share other people's reviews? If you've got heaps of user-generated content on your social media, do you reshare that? Do you share when people have used your product and they've taken the time to actually post about it and tag you in it? Like, sharing that information is so valuable as a customer, because they're like, oh, they really actually care about, me and what I've put out there, and they're willing to share that with everyone. I love that. Might be on your stories, doesn't have to be on your actual feed. How can you actually, if someone shared a review, can you screenshot and share it, and talk about that? So really capitalizing on people who are willing to give you that social proof and put it out there, and, showcasing it to everyone else as well. Using that on your website, please do that if you haven't already got a review app set up. Make sure that you have something that is, showcasing what people are talking about, your brand or your product or your service. So that's really important. If you can, ideally, do things like, build that community, build that community feel. Do you have events? Do you have pop-ups? Do you have special things taking place? Do you do things to really excite and engage your customers? one brand I'm thinking about is something like Trini, Trini London. So she does amazing pop-ups, and she has such a tribe of fans and loyal followers who will, go to bat for her and talk about the product and be brand ambassadors for that brand product as well. So can you build that? Can you generate that community? What can you do to sort of work on that as well? And one big thing as well, which I see sometimes people get stale on this, or they take too long in between, but always to keep evolving and offering new products or new categories or new colors or new price points, or, what can you do to keep evolving? Is it that you're redoing your website? Is the homepage being updated every couple of months, or have you got new things going on? So always evolving, always changing, like not changing is, huge, big changes that need to take place, but are you always staying ahead of the curve? So do you look at what your product mix is and think, oh, okay, well, let's, maybe we need a new category in here. Maybe we need to drop off some old ones and bring some fresh new things into place. Is that category getting a bit stale? So maybe we need to add a different thing to our range. It doesn't always have to be something you sell, like maybe it's a collaboration that you do, maybe it's something personalized that you do. How can you continually evolve, continually offer something new and fresh for your customers so they keep coming back for more and again and again? Can you add a subscription service? Like if you've got something like consumable like candles or beauty, what sort of subscription offer can you have so that you may take the difficulty or the purchasing decision away from them, in terms of they don't have to come back and, click that they want that again? Can you offer a subscription so they get a repeat or renew of their, the product that you have every couple of months? Or do they get every month, a flower subscription or something like that? What can you do to really boost that customers coming back again and again, you staying top of mind so that they know that you're the person who has that product or solves that problem? How can you stay top of mind, service your customers, really build that community around, what you do, and that you have that gratitude and love for your customers so that they will keep coming back for more and more, and they will remain loyal to you. So what can you do? I don't even know how many things I've listed here today. I haven't actually counted today. So I hope that that's been helpful though. And you can take one element, 2, 3, 5, whatever, it might be, and apply some of them to your business, or have a little, take stock of what you're doing and think about if you are, really making that customer journey as smooth as possible, if you're going above and beyond, if you're the right person to answering those customer emails. What can you do in your business to make a few tweaks, make a few changes to really boost that customer retention rate, and to have customers coming back once they find you, that they stay with you long term and they come back again and again and again, and they tell other people about you as well? That would be ideal. So I hope that's helped. I love sharing new things with you each week. I would love feedback on what is the things that you love. What do you love hearing about? What's been the most helpful? I would so appreciate that. And if you have the opportunity, please write a review. That would be so helpful. And, share with other people who you think this might be of benefit to as well. Thank you so much. I look forward to hearing your responses, and I'll speak with you soon. Thank you so much for listening to the Lotco Business Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you subscribe to receive future episodes as they are released. And I'd be so grateful for a review on Apple Podcast. If you would like a copy of the show notes or any of the links mentioned today, please jump onto my website at thelotco.com.au/podcast. Have an amazing week, and I look forward to chatting to you again soon.